Good morning. Good morning. Hey, Gregor. Hi, Greg. Safety first, please. No way. Live wires. Danger. Oh, okay. Just going to turn autofocus on just for the moment. See how that works. Just going to tidy up my desktop a little bit. Why is that so blurry? It should be so blurry. Morning, Julian. Let's burn this place down. Let's. Yes, we should. Why are we not focusing? I have to do it manually. I prefer not to burn the place down, to be honest. You set my Google list. Really? Sorry. At least it wasn't like in the middle of the night. I actually had to turn my alarms off on a lot of my subs for people that stream because it was pinging me at like 3 o'clock in the morning. And I always forget to turn my my notifications on my phone volume off. And my wife gets very upset when it pings into 3 o'clock in the morning. Very bright. Why is this so bright? I look like I'm an albino. I wonder if I can just. Now, yeah, oh, that's not too bad. Yeah, that's why I don't want to get an Echo or a Google Home or something. I don't want it just pinging, waking up the family in the middle of the night. I think that'd be terrible. YouTube says my video is buffering. How's it looking, folks? See, I managed to get 60 frames a second on my webcam now, which is awesome. Sorry, try that again. Rewind. It's 30 frames a second. I managed to get 1080p on my webcam instead of 720. It is dark and dingy outside still. It's 7 a.m. here. Hey Chris. Good morning to you, Chris. Back to full health? No, I'm not back to full health, Greg. I've drugged up at the moment. You might hear I'm a bit congested. I should actually go get a box of tissues, bring them next to me just in case. Pretty sure you can't catch anything through the internet or nothing like this, nothing viral. Genetically viral anyway. Wow, lots of people popping in. Hey, Paul the Curtains. Hey, Michael. Hi, Maxint, R&D. Hey, Dave. Good to see you, mate. Cool. Okay, I'm going to just wait another couple of minutes. It's still, it's 6:59 here, apparently. Anyway, so yeah, my streaming setup should be better. I've got streaming at a higher bit rate than I did on my tests the other day. And I've got 1080p on my camera, so it should be much sharper. I put a weight on my camera as well, so I should be able to hold it still in most places, which should be good. But yeah, YouTube just keeps coming up with a message telling me that I'm buffering, so I don't know what that's about. Hey Alan, good morning. Wow, you're up early. So hopefully this will be a good spot for just streaming in the future now, sitting at my workbench. I set up my Arduino development environment on this machine as well, on my Hackintosh, which today seems to be working. Yesterday was working. Day before, not so much. Awesome. Thanks, Greg. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to working here. The only thing I can't really do right now is all my Eagle stuff and everything from here. But maybe eventually, if I get a high-res screen, I wouldn't want to be working at Eagle on 1080p, with my screen's really far away from me. It's about 1.5 meters away, off in the distance over there. Before we actually jump onto this, hello Electron Ash, good morning. I've actually, oh, that's a bit. Stephen. Be briefly when I finish this. Corona. Did you bring one for everyone? If you bring Corona, you're going to do for everyone. Actually, maybe not Corona. We have a term for Corona in Australia, and it's not nice. It's not a nice term that we use for people that drink Corona. Something to do with... No, I'm not even going to say it. It's not nice. Get a Reflow. BGAs. I don't think I'm ever going to go BGA. I say that, but, you know, I might, but I don't think I ever will. Just like FPGA. I don't know. Hey, Death Shaker. Nice to see you. The reason I zoomed out is because I'm actually waiting for someone to pop in. If they do pop in, hopefully they will. They generally do on the streams. I got sent a present in the mail. Hey, Leo. Good evening. Morning. I went into Aldi yesterday, Stephen, to see if they had any filament left and to see if they had any toaster ovens. My Aldi's got no filament left and no toaster ovens. I was so upset. No, Corona's not like Foster's or Miller's. Corona's is like a Mexican beer. And excuse the term, but we call it bitch piss here in Australia. It's like it's what we say girls drink, which is really inappropriate in today's political climate. So, but anyway, just saying that's what it's called over here. Although I've had my fair few Coronas, I have to say. I've got this package. Working on the code for my laser show deck. Cool, laser show. Make sure you use really powerful lasers so you burn everyone's eyes. And Rob is here. Hey, Rob. Been waiting for you. Look what I got. Dun, dun, dun. Yes, with a wedge of lime, a Corona is pretty nice. It's quite refreshing, actually. But it's really not like a beer. It's more like a... Yeah. Well, it's not quite sugary drink because it's beer, but it's definitely not a stout beer. American light beer? Is that the actual brand, Dave? I don't know. Anyway, I wanted to do this. So before we do anything else, I didn't want to wait till my next unexpected mail video, even though I've done 2 in 2 weeks and I've got a stockpile of mail already again. I've just been going nuts with my mail and everything seems to be coming in at the same time. But I definitely want to open this. This was sent to me from Rob E. You can see that? Rob E. Which is the same Rob E that just popped in the stream. And I think I now know what it is because I've been holding it. It came in yesterday and I've been twisting it around in my hands. And I have a feeling I know what it is and I'm very excited by it. So I'm going to open this now. 600 plus in my watch later. What? I don't know what that's about. Okay. Here we go. My first live. Oh, God, that is the worst Stanley knife ever. I can't find my other knife. I don't know where I put it. Okay, cut through that time. So the first time I'm ever opening anything live on a stream. Oh, there's more than one thing in here. Oh, it turned up just back from 2. Hours of free beer and brewery. 2 hours of free beer in a brewery. Wow. Cool. Wow. Okay, what's going on in here? Okay, sorry, I'm distracted. Yeah. Cool. And what's this? 2 of them. Wow. Rob, that is awesome. That is fantastic. Okay, so just quickly, the reason I've got these, or the reason Rob was awesome enough to send me these, thank you so much. We were discussing on my stream the other day about how all the breadboards have all got 5 pins on each side of the center column. And so for the ESP32 dev boards that are pretty wide because of the module, it only leaves 1 row of pins on each side. to be able to plug things into, which is a real pain. And so I'm often using things like, well, not quite in this case, but breadboards hanging off the end to join otherwise onto particular pins. And so a bunch of you were looking online at all the different versions of these breadboards that have 6. And Rob sent me 2 breadboards. A massive breadboard. Looks like there's 2 in one. And a smaller one. And these look fantastic. I'm going to open this one up. These just look awesome. I'm going to go grab my ESP32. 1 second. Ooh, where is it? I'm back. Okay, so here's my ESP32 development board. And I can now plug it in, and I've got 2 pins on each side. That is absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much, Rob. I really, really appreciate it. You didn't have to. But yeah, thank you. Oh, that was my other computer pinging in the background. Sorry, I should go turn that off. I mounted the power, by the way, on my ESP32. And the very first thing I did was plug the 12-volt power supply into it by accident. Oh boy, it didn't go up in smoke. The power LED was flashing really badly, and I went, holy shit, and quickly pulled out. So my board's fine. Again, thank you very much. I'm going to move these to the side. I really appreciate your generosity, Rob. That was just absolutely awesome of you. I was actually going to go out and do a breadboard order because they seem to be running out. Because I never take stuff off my boards when I build them into other projects. But this is going to keep me going for a while. I'm just going to put them up here for now. Okay. Hey, Colin. Thanks for joining. So, we need to talk about where we're at with this toaster oven. So this is not going to be my first test. I've actually had the toaster oven working. I've been doing reflowing, well, not reflowing with it, but heating it up and cooling it down, because there was a lot of work to set all this up. But I've got more work to do still, and then I need to get the fan working properly. I need to put a current limiting resistor on the base of this transistor, which I don't have yet still, but I will. Thanks for the hard work you put into the streams. Thank you very much, Rob. Really, really nice of you. Very generous of you. See you on slow claps. Why am I slow clapping? What? I gotta stay. Oh, why am I on top chat? What did I miss? Did I miss something? What's the very island to me? Never use one. Not even once. What? How can you not use a breadboard? Oh, I didn't even pay attention to any of this chat. Okay, I don't know why we're slow clapping. Hey, Andy. Yeah, soldering is great. You know what? I don't like desoldering. I don't like using wick. I don't like soldering something to a controller board and then wanting to use it for something else and having to get all the solder back up again. It's quite painful. I've got my I don't know how flexible this is going to be. I've got my toaster oven right there. That's a bit... Whoa. Okay. I'm just going to... Sorry about the camera angle, folks. I've got my SSR. Actually, what I might do... I don't even know if this will... No, the power cable won't work. Won't reach. I'm going to turn it around. Okay, don't worry. This is completely unrehearsed. So I've got my K-type cable here, and I've got my SSR, a solid state relay, and both are going into the other side of the oven. It's actually going in quite neatly. Oh, you might be able to see at the back. I've got some... I've got heat shrink around here that it's not actually shrunk, but just to hold the cables together, and they go into the back to where the power cord goes into. There's a hole at the back. So it's all nice and neat from that side. This side, not so much. I mean, this is the power cables for the SSR. It's only DC. It just plugged into the breadboard. It was just solid core cable. So not the most reliable setup ever. Yeah, you know what? I've never been overly successful with the solder sucker. I find it quite awkward. And I never understood why the tip of a solder sucker is plastic. you're putting it near the solder and you're heating up the solder and it's hot and you want to click it to get it out and you're just melting the end of it. Case is earthed, earth leakage detector in place. The case is earthed. Yes, everything in Australia is earthed. Hey Peter. Well, everything in Australia is supposed to be earthed. And earth protection, what's that? Come on. What's a bit of 240 volts between friends? Really? Okay, let me just get this back in focus. So this is my setup right now. Again, I'm out of breadboard space, so I've made my little transistor sit on the side. Some of you might have seen this in my Poor Me, I'm Sick video. I can't believe I did that title. That was just the most ridiculous title ever. And then I didn't want to change it, but anyway, I should have. Hey Mike, welcome. I've got a transistor. I should put a little... I'm going to put a resistor on. I've got a little miscellaneous thing here. And I'm pretty sure I've got a... Okay, pop quiz for Julian. I can't even see the colours on this. It's actually quite dark in here, believe it or not. It looks like it's really bright, but it's really not. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Red, red, black, black, red, maybe? Red, red, black, black, red? Who knows what that is? I should get my multimeter, find out what this is. For those of you that didn't see, my new probes on my mail, these are from, what are they called? I can't remember. Probe Master. Wow, forgot. They're awesome. 2K2. Wow, see, I knew you'd know, Julian. That is, you're just too good. Let's check. Let's see if he's right. Oh, spot on. Spot on, Julian. Okay, I'm gonna go. I need to get myself a 200 ohm. So is a 200 ohm resistor good enough for a to go to the base? I don't even know what I need. I saw you posted a video this morning, Julian, of plugging your PWM5 into your scope. I'm very keen to have a watch of that when I get off my stream, because I might have a new scope and I need to learn how to use it and play with it. So I've been watching other people using their scopes to try to learn. Good evening, everyone. Hey, Gary. Cool. Okay, I'm just going to put this on anyway. So my base is the white one. I wouldn't have thought there's enough amperage coming from a GPIO to really have an issue, like all the back coming from the base, but anyway, okay. Old school master, yeah. I just love the way, there's a few YouTubers that do it actually. Dave Watts is pretty good. I'm quite surprised how often he gets it right. Nothing bad meant there, and Julian as well. The way, and even Dave Astel, you guys just throw out just chip numbers and names and what they are. Like, oh, this is a blah, 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 blah that does blah, 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 and this is a blah, blah, blah that does, like, I get that you guys have been doing this for a long time, and I'm just in awe of that. Like, I just, every time I look at a transistor, I've got to reread the thing again and again and again and work out what it is. Like, I can look at the number and go, that seems kind of familiar, but I have no idea what it is. I'm pretty impressed with the level of knowledge you all have. The new Siglent, yes. I have a video coming out on Friday about it. It's just an unboxing, but it's actually sitting on my desk right in front of me, but I'm not doing any spoilers. Okay, so let's just plug this in. There's some code I want to do today. I want to show you guys it working. Why is that the wrong way around? Now that's interesting. Screen rotation is wrong and looks quite messed up. Let's see if we can reflash it. Here we go. It's a bit better. That was a bit weird. Wow, I think it's 8 degrees right now. Okay, so I've done quite a bit of work on here. Let me just get a bit closer so you can see the screen. Just get that a bit more in focus. Okay. Also, let me know if the chat is flashing, because on my side in OBS, I can see the chat window is flashing white sometimes, which is quite distracting. Is that the same desoldering station I have? I don't know. It's 5-7 years of that one. Okay, no idea what you guys are chatting about. That's all cool. Just keep discussing. So I've got the probe sitting right inside the oven, right underneath the tray, which I can't really show you. I wish I could, but I can't really show you. And right now it's just measuring the current temperature on the screen all the time. I've set up, I'll just show you a few things that I've done before we go. Settings is now kind of working. If I click on the settings screen, I've got a settings menu. And so, for instance, I can click on switch paste, and I've got 3 different pastes that are in here right now. Just some test things that I've been working on. And so you can just pick a particular paste and click select, and that's now the paste. But I'll put that back. I want to go back on my paste. Go back to settings. I've got a fan control option, which isn't working. So it's working that I can, what this is supposed to be is to say use the fan or don't use the fan to cool down. It's not really something to turn the fan on and off right now, but I can actually use it to turn the fan on and off right now. So if I click on, you can see the fan's going. It's just a way for me to test. If I click off, it turns the fan off. But the idea is that is supposed to be saying at the end of the reflow, do you want to kick a fan on or not, in case people don't want to use a fan. The problem is I'm using a library called Flash Storage, I believe it's called, for the SAMD, specifically for the SAMD21, that's supposed to do non-volatile flash storage of data and back again, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And so what I'm finding is the every time I reboot the device, it's going to the default settings, which is leave the fan off, which is really annoying. So I need to just change some code right now to say, to tell it to use the fan no matter what, whether it's got that setting on or off. So I'm actually going to just do that, compile that out right now. I might switch to a code screen a bit later, but for the moment I'm not going to, because there's really nothing to see. It's a bit boring. It's going to reflash. So what I'm going to do is go through an actual reflow, so you can watch it going. Is the fan going to blow cold air in or suck it out? It's going to suck it out, and it's a really lightweight fan, as you can see. It's quite small. I'm just going to move that back out a bit. It's quite small, and I'm really not expecting it to be super effective. But what I'm going to do is let the reflow happen, do a full reflow, so you can actually see what it is it needs to do, because it doesn't need to cool down the oven in 5 seconds. And at some point, I have to open the door anyway. Like, you can't just leave the oven door closed. Somebody uses melting point solder. Okay. I'm not going to solder at 8 degrees. No, I'm not. That's just the current temperature in the oven. Suck might overheat the fan. Well, okay, so one of the first issues is the fan is only rated to live in a 70-degree environment. So it can't really be close to the oven anyway. When I say close to the oven, my plan right now is to cut a hole in the oven's got 2 shells. There's an inside shell, and then there's an outside shell. I'm going to cut a hole in the inside shell. Obviously, there's going to be around, the 40 by 40 mil. And then I'm going to cut a hole in the outside shell offset from that, so they're not directly in front of each other, because I don't want the heat to just keep touching the fan. So they'll be kind of, okay, that's really bad. The hands. So they'll be offset from each other like this, to hopefully have less heat escape while it's reflowing, because it's going to affect the overall temperature. And there'll be a bit of a cavity on the side of the oven, and then hopefully this will just pull enough air out. You'll see in a moment. I'm gonna do a reflow, so you get to watch it. Whoop, bang. Let's focus again. So we're going to start the reflow process. Oh, how if I turn the oven on? So all you need to do is just turn the oven on, like have the elements turned on, which doesn't do anything in the oven anymore because I've intercepted the actual elements, not the power. So this triggers the elements on or off, not the power on and off. The power is always on. And I did that because I didn't want to cut the power cable. There was already, those flat connectors inside the oven where the thermostat was connected to. I just disconnected those and plugged this in instead. So let's go. We're going to reflow. So the first thing it does is sits there. It knows it's got to hit 27 degrees and it just starts warming up. Oh, that's a bit of a glitch on the screen. I forgot I had coffee. Ooh, coffee. Okay, here it goes. Now, anyone that's used a reflow or used a toaster oven before for reflow, you would have noticed that the first 30-40 degrees is the slowest. I've reversed the polarity. What? Who's reversed the polarity? Which polarity have I reversed? Is someone talking to me? Andy? Yeah, look, so if sucking air out is going to destroy the fan, it's going to heat it up, well, then it's going to heat it up. It's a pretty cheap fan. I'm just going to try it. I've got some 12-volt fans here, some really big, beefy ones. I don't particularly want to... So the whole idea of using the 5-volt fan is I wanted to run everything off the 5 volts, off the USB. I didn't want to run 2 lots of power in there, or I didn't want to redesign the board to find a different LDO or regulator that it can actually handle up to 12 volts. The one I've got in there right now is designed, it's a 5-volt regulator that goes down to 3.3. I could swap all that out and change the circuitry and be able to feed the whole thing from 12 volts, but 5 volts is ideal for me. So you'll see 2 lots of graphs going right now. Let's see if I can get closer. Oh, it was a joke. Okay, good. Thanks, because I'm playing with live wire, like, mains and stuff, and you're joking about polarity. Thank you. Thanks, Andy. Whew. So you can't really see the colors, unfortunately, but the graph that's on there, the full graph is in purple, and the one that I'm doing is in green. And as you can see, it's pretty damn close. So the numbers up top is the current temp and the temperature it's going for. So it's riding a fraction high, but, it's definitely within tolerances. Compared to me doing it manually, this is way within tolerance. So I can't get a perfect curve. I've tried. The rate of change on the oven is just not fast enough. It doesn't cool down quick enough. As you can see here, it's supposed to be, like right now, it's actually sitting 0. Like, I should explain how it all works. I'll do that in a moment. But one of the things I want to do this morning actually is put a duty cycle display on here as well, so you can actually see what it's doing to the elements right now. So when it's on, it's going somewhere between a 0 and a full 100% duty cycle on the SSR. So it's switching the SSR on and off with pulse width modulation. And then when it needs to drop the temperature, it just turns it off, like it puts it at 0. But you can see that curve there, where it's trying to drop again, that's the oven turning off. That's how long it takes for the oven to start cooling down. So right now, the fan is designed, Greg, to only go off at the end, because as you'll see by this graph, it's pretty close. It's way good enough. Like, it really, really is. I would say it's at least 100% better than me manually doing it, and I've never had a failed reflow. Just had a dig about, I have several multi-comp cast alloy fans. So I've been looking for something that was like metal or an alloy, something that wasn't plastic, and something that was bigger. But firstly, they need to be DC, and they need to be preferably 5 volt, and I can't find anything 5 volt bigger than 4 mil. So I do have options for bigger fans, Chris, but that means I need to do a completely different power source. It also means that I need a much bigger hole in the oven, which means I'm going to have a harder time keeping the temperature in the oven as I'm reflowing. Just dead time in the controller. Hey, Dominic. Hey, Detraxa. Welcome. it's following the curve extremely well. So, and I've also, although I don't have it on there right now, because I forgot to save, but I put a test 183 degree curve in there, and it follows that really well as well. I'm not using PID. This is all. Yeah, just shake it. It's a lot of Chris, 240 volts AC. Not quite what I want. So everyone, I'll go back into this in a second, but everyone watch the curve now. So it's at the top of the curve. I can see right now, just on my screen, it's the zero duty cycle. And watch how long it takes for the curve to start dropping. So this is what I want the fan for. It will drop. It's going down. But if you look at the rate, it needs to drop. It needs to be quite dramatic at this point. And it doesn't quite do it. Right? It's beeping. It tells me open the oven. I've got a bit of a graph issue there. If I open the oven, watch the graph now. Right? So opening the oven works great. And I get a nice beep, and it tells me open the oven. I don't know if you heard the beep or not. The piezo is a little bit quiet. I might put a speaker on there instead. And the fan is running. Yes. It kicked the fan in at the end. It's running, and it'll keep running until it gets to the end, and it turns the fan off. Yeah, the fan's not fitted yet. Oh, that's nice and warm. Ooh. Okay, I'm just going to leave it open, so let it cool down. I'm just going to hit the menu. I don't know what that glitch was on the top. It's really annoying, but you can see the fan's already dropped down to 66. So the fan, the oven, that's because the door's open. When it gets 100%, reach the Cayman line. I don't know what a Cayman line is. Sorry, Andy. So it's working really well. Now, for those of you that saw I can't remember what video I did it on. Yeah, the way I'm doing it is I'm following two curves. I'm looking at the rate of change of the ideal curve and the rate of change of my curve. And I'm adjusting them, and I've got the ability to look ahead of time. So I'm adjusting them ahead of time because there's a delay in how quickly the elements or how quickly the oven temperature will change based on me cycling the elements. So it's fitting the curve really well. Like I'm really, really impressed. It took a lot to get it. It took me probably a full day of rewriting my code again and again and again. I tried doing it based on percentages. I tried doing it based on deltas to the temperature. But at the end of the day, it's a rocket science joke. Wow. It's too early in the morning for me, Andy, and not that I'm a rocket scientist, so I probably wouldn't know the joke anyway. Sorry, coffee. So I'm pretty impressed with the way it's working. I wasn't going to use the fan to cool it down while the flow is actually running because I don't think it needs it. I've done a bit of research online looking at all the different types of the required graphs for the paste I've got. I've got a 220 paste that I'm never ever going to use. I've got a 183 that I have used in the past that I think is still too hot. I'd rather stick with the 143 or the 138. But even the 183, when I look at the graph for that particular brand, there's nothing on the curve that's any sharper than what that curve that you saw was. It's almost identical. It's just a higher temperature. So I don't think I'm going to need the fan at all to control the temperature as it's flowing. I really just want it at the end, and I want something that'll kick in at the end. And I figure if you remember, I should have left it on the screen. If you look at the curve that was on the screen at the end, not before the drop, just the as it passed the top temperature, I'm only about 50% out in terms of how quickly that's dropping. So I'm pretty confident that if I can pull 5 degrees or 10 degrees out of the oven in a matter of, 5 or 6 seconds with this fan, then I think that'll be enough. Will it have a pi setting? No, I don't think it'll have a pi setting. A profile to cook an egg in its shell without exploring. You must use oven. Yeah, okay. Back in 1 second, folks. Hang on. Okay, that was either blow my nose off stream or have my nose dribble down my face on stream, which I really didn't want to do. I'm pretty sure I don't want to cook food in here anymore because I've done a lot of reflowing in there, and I'm pretty sure it's not safe. Even lead-free, I still wouldn't cook food in here anymore. So what I want to do, well, okay, I'm going to just quickly put a display in so we can watch what the duty cycle is as it's running. And I'm not sure if you would have seen before. I think it would have been off the screen. The little blue LED I've got in there right now is also, it's on the same PWM line on the GPIO, so it's also showing brightness based on what the current duty cycle is, but it's much harder to determine what's happening from the LED. I'm still waiting for those hydration ovens we saw back to the future. Live no stream. Yeah, let me tell you, I don't know if you've got Sudafed overseas. We've got a brand of congestion or decongestion tablets called Sudafed, and it's got pseudoephedrine in it. You need your license to be able to get it. And I'm pumped up with that right now. It's good stuff. It's like speed, almost like speed. So does anyone want to watch me code? Would you like me to put some code up on the screen? I'll put some code up on the screen. Because why not? I don't know if it's going to be big enough to see though. How's that, folks? Okay, this is my code. Let's see if I get the text a bit bigger. Increase font size. Hopefully you'll be able to see that okay. I'm kind of covering my chat window. Back to the Future was a very cool film. Okay, so what I want to do is... So this is my duty cycle at the end. I've got a set relay frequency duty. And I'm pretty sure duty is a local variable, which is not good. So I need to declare this as a global so I can reference it elsewhere. So I'm just going to scroll around a bit. Oh, this is not about you learning what the code is. It's just about seeing me do something. Instead of coding, why not fit the fan so we can see if successful? So to fit the fan, I need to do two things. I need to cut into my oven and I need to cut into the case. And I haven't decided where I'm going to do that yet. And I'm not sure I want to take an angle grinder to my case live on a stream in my workspace. I'd normally do that in my garage or do it outside. I've got some expensive equipment sitting around me right now, and I'm not sure I really want to take, metal, take a saw to metal. It's not a bad idea. Maybe I'll do that on an outside stream or do it on video. I liked The Abyss. That was a great film. Jurassic Park, The Matrix. Love The Matrix. Anyway, okay, I need to declare a variable. I'm going to call it, so over here, give me a float. Yeah, whatever. Got plenty of memory. Float, and it's going to be called current duty equals 0. Oh. Okay, and I'm going to, just in my loop, at the place where I set the duty cycle, which is in the set relay frequency, which I need to find. Set relay, I don't know if you can see my, no, you can't see my search window as that comes up. It's scary. It is C++. Yes, I'm not the biggest fan of C++ myself. Oh, it is an int. Okay, I'll change that to an int. I'll put it back. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just scrolling around really quickly. I just want to get this done so you can see it working, so you can actually see what I'm doing to the oven to make it do what it's doing. Okay, and now, so when it's reflowing, state 1 warm up, state 2 is reflowing. I've got some code here that draws a heading the current temperature, what I'm also going to do, I'm going to hack in, just for now, underneath that, a label. I don't know where it's going to be on the screen. I'm going to try to get it roughly at the right spot, but I don't know where it's going to be. I'm going to do a tft.setCursor. I'm going to put it at oops, can't type, 40, 60 just for now. It's going to be on the graph, but it'll be above it. And then I'm going to say tft.print. I better set text size to TDT. Really? I hate live coding. tft. I don't know what color it's going to be. Doesn't matter. Print line. And I'm going to print current duty plus a percentage. I'm pretty sure. Will that work? Maybe. Let's try that, shall we? What did I miss? An loose finger with the jigsaw on a live stream. Now that would pay to see. Really? DC Allen, really? You'd want to see a jigsaw blade go flying into my cheek live on a stream? Or straight into my new scope? That's not nice. Speaking of movies and damaged fingers, I watched a film called Gerald's Game the other night. I've heard of it. Pascal case for functions, Calibrations, new lines. It's based after open fences. Yes, I'm a C# coder, Leo. So, I mean, I was a C++ coder at one point in my life. C and C++, but I'm a C# coder and I tend to write my C in the C# style. Don't get your brain around OOP. OOP is useless. OOP is terrible. OOP is just, you need to, what's great, so the Arduino IDE or the Arduino environment uses a slightly simplified version of C++. So you don't have things like templates and other stuff like that, which means it's more C syntax than C++. You've got classes with inheritance and stuff like that, C++ type of stuff, but you can just code in what looks like old school C, which is what this really looks like, my code looks like. So, which is much nicer than having to code with modern C++, which I hate. Okay, so let's turn this code off. Let's go back to the oven. I'm going to close the door. And we're going to try this again, and I'm going to see what happens with whether the graph comes up. Whether the value comes up. Hopefully it'll come up. It might be in an ugly spot, but all I want you to see is what the duty cycle is. And you can see the blue light, right? The blue light's on, the LED. It's going on and off right now, just to bring the temperature up. I'm never leaving it constantly at 100. That sounds stupid. So bad, good jobs, saw, worked. Okay, I don't know what's going on here. Classic C++, Dave. Yeah. It's, whoa, okay, so there's something on the screen, but it's not displaying, oh, I know why. Ah, stupid strings. When it tries to do concatenation that way, it, let's stop that. It's going to stop anyway. It doesn't like doing concatenation. So just to let you know, I quickly just stuck a string around the current. So when I did a concatenation with a +%, it gave it a memory address instead. Really annoying. Anyway. So here's an interesting thing. My oven is higher than 27 degrees. What happens? Let's find out. I didn't blank the value beforehand. Oh, so annoying. Okay. I'm just going to abort it again. 1 second. Another code change. So the way this works, because the length of the string is changing, it only blanks the pixels behind the current string size. So what I need to do first is a tft.fillRect, 2 L's. Have I got my code up on the screen? I hope I do. Yes, I do. FillRect, and we're going to do it at 40,60, and I'm just going to do a big section of it. I don't know how long it's going to be. So it's going to blank out the graph. Yeah, no. Oops. Comma, black. So it's going to blank out the background first and then redraw it. We'll try that again. What did I get wrong? Full rect, doesn't like that. Full rect, 60, 120, black, 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 not back. Sure there's no color called back. Okay, that's compiling, let's go. So what I wanted to show you was that even if the oven is still warm, so let's say you're reflowing multiple boards. So I'm going to start this off now because it's much higher. So you can see that's drawing correctly now. So my graph is coming in. Let's get a bit closer. Let's get it in focus. Now I'm not currently clamping my duty cycle value. It gets clamped when it gets sent to the oven, to the SSR. So I should have probably displayed the clamped value. So don't worry when it gets above 100. But as you can see, the temperature started way above 27 degrees, but it's compensating. But what it's not doing is just hitting 0 on the duty cycle to make it hit the graph. It's still looking ahead, and it knows that it's approaching the graph and the rate of change on the graph is going up. So you see a dip there, but it's still compensating and looking ahead so it can ease into the graph as it's coming through. So I did that because the last thing I want to do, let's say, if I want to reflow 10 Neo 7 segment boards or a couple of microcontroller boards, I don't want to have to reflow and then sit and have to wait for 20 minutes or however long until the oven gets back to 27 degrees again to be able to use it. I wanted to make sure that I could, leave the door open for a couple of minutes in between boards, put it back in, and even if it's starting, at 30 or 40 or 60 degrees, it's still going to reflow properly. Because this first section here is just the soak. So the important part is not how long it really gets up to that, it's how long it sits at that soak for. And as you can see, the graph sitting, it's already gone back to the correct place at the soak position. Actually, sorry, I lied. So that percentage I'm showing, sorry, it's showing the actual 0 to 255, not the percentage. I should have divided it by 255. While that's running, I'll do that. So that's actually not the percentage value. Try that again, shall we? I'm coding the background while that's going. Put my fan over here so you can see it come on when it needs to. Okay, that should be it. Current duty cycle divided by 256 times 100. That should give me my percentage. That was silly. Not a clamping issue at all. Okay. Unless anyone should watch something else other than the stream right now, just save it for later. Cool. No one has to sit and watch the stream. It's pretty boring right now. It's just a graph going up. It's quite boring, actually. The only thing would be less boring is if I stuck my hand in. Or stuck a board in there. So it does reflow while that's going there. I'm not sure if you're able to see this. This is a board I put in. I think I've already shown this board. I can't remember what video. It's all a blur. I've got an 0805 resistor on there. I've got a cap, 0805 cap on there. A couple of the larger pads I put paste on. And just some random pads all over the place I put paste on. You see on the reset button, there's some paste. So I have been reflowing some test boards. This is my first revision of my microcontroller board, my SAMD21 that I built, that had the wrong package type. So I couldn't use them. And I even paid extra to put them in white. Silly me. So it's definitely reflowing. So as you can see there, look, if you watch the graph at the end, it's not long that it needs to be on for, the fan. And open the oven and watch it drop. What's the peak temp? Around 26 degrees. Peak temperature? What? No. So the paste I'm using is 138 degree solder paste. 260? Who does reflow at 260 degrees? I don't think my NeoPixels will melt at 260 degrees. Got some garbage happening on the screen. Oh, I know what that is. That's the menu kicking in. That's cool. I can fix that later. These black bars coming in, that's just when it's redrawing the menu. It doesn't realise there's no menu options there, so it blanks them out anyway. So as you can see, that's the graph bit there. This is the bit I'm worried about, not the door open. I have to open the door. There's no way a fan is going to kick the temperature down like this. And I wouldn't want it to. At the point of this dropping, I need to open the door and get the board out. I don't want to leave the board soaking in the oven. Lead-free melting point was quite high. Solder paste is lower in general, but you can get varying temperatures. So you can get 220, you can get 180. Is it 187 or 183? 148, 143 and 138. 260 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, I don't know, but I definitely go for the lower temperature paste. Firstly, because I feel safer reflowing at that temperature. There's two reasons. I feel safer reflowing, especially when I've got components on the board that have got plastic on them. The other reason is at some point I'm going to want to start doing double-sided boards, and the only way to reflow double-sided boards is to use paste with two different temperatures. So you do the first side at like a 183 or 187 degree temperature, and then you do your other side at a 138. And hopefully the temperature you're getting on the reflow is accurate enough that the oven isn't overshooting and you don't remelt the first side, and that's how you do two-sided boards in the toaster oven. Or in any type of reflow. I wouldn't even know how you do it any other way than two different temperatures. So it's really this little bit here that I'm looking at solving. I'm just going to reprogram this so you see a proper percentage next time. So that's all the fan really has to do. I am keen to get the fan in, but I really don't want to do it live, folks. I think that would be super dangerous to cut the oven live. The oven itself actually has, I'm just going to move my camera, sorry. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see. Let me turn this around. It's got little holes on top that there's air escapes out of anyway. Let me just get higher, maybe so you can see. I know it's kind of a weird angle. Lost my chat. Oh, has Sean done two-sided? I'm sure he must have, yeah. Okay. I'll find out from him, Stephen, what two temperatures he uses. I've not done two-sided yet, and I don't have any plans on doing a two-sided board just yet. I've got an idea in my head of something I want to try, but that's a long way away right now. Well, and knowing me, a long way away means I might try it this afternoon, I don't know. I mean, it needs a whole board design first, and then a fabrication and construction. So there's already holes on here. The concern with putting a fan on top is the case, the distance between the case and this top is only about 5 mil. And I'm not sure that there's going to be enough air. If I cut a hole in the top here and then cut a hole in the top to put the fan on the case, I don't know if there's going to be enough air space to move the air through and suck enough out. I'm really thinking it's going to have to be on the side somewhere. And ideally I want to do it on the other side because that's where all the other wiring is going through, and I don't want to have wires all around the oven. So, you know, wires I don't want to have wires inside the cavity to go to the fan because I don't want to get them too hot. But on the other side of the oven, there's actually quite a large cavity, and that's where all the electronics are. I'm not sure I want to open up the side of the oven there and have too much heat coming into that cavity, because that's where the SSR is going to live, and that's where, just general cabling is. So, I mean, that already gets hot, but it's going to get much hotter if I leave a hole in there. So I'm really torn as to where I'm going to put the hole right now. And look, unfortunately we don't have any $20 Aldi ovens here around anywhere that I found. This was a $90 oven. I don't mind if I destroy a $90 oven. I can go and buy another $90 oven, that's fine, but I don't want to make a habit of destroying $90 ovens just for the sake of not knowing where to put the hole. But you can always fill a hole, right? I mean, I could always, if I cut it out of an area that makes sense, like for instance, if I did it, sorry, it's upside down. If I did that spot right here, so this is the top of the oven. This is upside down, as I said. Heat rises, so if I have it just here, it's going to be pulling air out from the top, which is what I want, not from the bottom. And if I then put the hole for the side in the middle, so there's about a 2 centimeter width cavity in here that might hold enough temperature in there that it won't screw my graph too much. So that's where I think I might put it. And as you can see here, if this will reach, maybe it's, maybe not. Let me just unplug it. Unplug a fan. I'm not going to put the fan directly there, but it's a good size. So if I got a hole roughly that size there, and then this was sitting about there on the side, it might be enough to suck the air through. I don't know about putting it directly over the top. That would suck more air through, but I'm just worried about how much heat's going to escape. It's all theory, folks. I really don't know. $9 Australian. That's like $10. Yeah, $9 Australian. It's like $60 US. Yes, these are expensive. This is a Russell. Is it Russell Hobbs? Is it? I think it's a Russell Hobbs brand, which is you just can't buy cheap ones here. Nothing's cheap in Australia, unfortunately. As someone suggested, use a door open trigger solenoid. So I was looking at, I'm sorry if I'm missing anyone's chat. So I'm just quickly looking back at see if there's anything I've missed. I don't know. So, I got a new subscriber, William Gallagher. Welcome, William. Although you're probably not on the stream, but that's okay. Sorry, I've got, no, don't do that. Sorry, I got notifications popping up. I'm still getting used to this new setup. So, I was thinking about doing a solenoid for the door. A couple of issues for that. First one is finding a push-pull solenoid. I don't want just you can get pulls and you can get push-pull. I haven't found a push one yet that isn't massive or that doesn't require, or that I could run off a small voltage. And this is actually, the door is really hard to open. Like a lot of pressure to open the door. The other problem with a solenoid is when I open the door, even like this, that's too much. It drops off way too quickly. So the heat, there's no lip at the front here, inside. So as soon as this opens, the heat just rushes out. So opening the door is not a great idea, personally. And to have a clip, I'm sure you can see, to have a clip in here, even just there, to hold to sit like this to open the door, that's going to be strong enough to push that door, there's already too much air coming out. So it's not really something I want to do. I just lost. Yeah, Chris, I've been not stressing, but bit consumed over the whole sub counter going up and down. So in my week that I hit 500, between 500 and 520, I lost 17 subscribers. I still got, so I got what, 37 subscribers because I still ended up at 520, but I lost 17 subscribers the second that week I hit 500. That was quite quite disappointing. You know, it happens. That's fine. My content isn't for everyone, and I know a lot of people, was interested in my laser cutting stuff, and then make sure I put this in the right spot. It's that one there. But yeah, like, it happens. You win and you lose subscribers. So progressive door opening, yeah. So I don't particularly want to do the door opening thing. Don't forget, I'm also trying. I'm not saying I'm going to ever ship these. Well, let's put this back. I'm not saying I'm ever going to ship this as a product. Like, I'd like to at least have the opportunity to sell the boards, maybe, if people want to build one, or even, well, as in the bare PCB, or potentially even build the PCB and put them on Tindy or something. I don't know. There's already a lot of reflow options available, so I've got no expectations that anyone is going to use this. But I'd like to make it a product that someone could install if they wanted to, and I don't think the solenoid route with the door opening is the way to go, personally. It doesn't even need the fan. As I said, all I need to do is, instead of having it beep at the end of the graph where it says open the door, I can have it go beep, beep, beep at the top of that graph and say, hey, you might want to open the door a little bit now, and then a full beep to say, okay, open it all the way. Because as I said, you can't leave the boards in there. You can't just walk away from this thing, have the fan cool it down and walk away. You're leaving the boards in there for too long, and you're letting them soak, and you're not supposed to. You're supposed to get the boards out and let them cool down fairly rapidly. So, yeah, it's not supposed to be a put it in and walk away from solution. The fan is just for me. The fan is just to see if I could get it working and do it. I've got all the electronics on the board now. I'm using a, was it a 1N4000, whatever they're called, diode over here. But on my PCB, I'm just using a Schottky diode, just an NBR 120, I think. Legend has it, if you click the thumbs up button while watching the stream, there's a chance you'll win the lottery. Oh, hey, David. I didn't even see how much that. Okay, everyone, let's try that out. Everyone go click the like button, the thumbs up button, and see if you win the lottery. Woohoo! Making a more lightweight door or double doors that can be opened more easily. Yeah, I'm not trying to develop a reflow solution. Like, I don't want to make a new door. I don't want to. The whole idea is that this will just work on any oven with minimal fuss. It's the reason I didn't cut the wires. It's the reason, like on the oven, I'm trying to find a solution that anyone could easily connect to any oven and be confident that they're getting a good reflow experience, with the ability to use different types of paste, with a nice display that's maybe in focus. That's what my objective is, and it's just for me right now, right? Like I don't want to get caught up in the whole, productifying this, because at the end of the day, I'll be lucky if I sell one. And that's another thing. The SSRs aren't cheap. So this one was $32 Australian. I'm not going to move my camera again. And it's probably rated higher than what I need, but even doing a lower rating one was only going to save me $4 or $5. I don't want to supply an SSR if I supply this product, because I'm sure even like in the States you'll be able to buy them much cheaper, or people might want to buy them from China if they want to wait for them. Yeah, I think right now what I'd be looking at productifying, if I do, is a finished board with a screen, because it's going to be this specific screen that plugs into it, because it's going to plug right in. In a case with all the electronics and the wiring ready to go, and with potentially plugs on the side of the 3D case. So you plug your K-type into it, and you plug your fan into it, and you plug your SSR into it. So they won't be soldered directly to the board. There'll be plugs on the side, so it's portable. So that way you can put the control unit wherever you want to, and then let people get their own SSR solution, and people get their own fan solution if they want one. And it's as simple as that. Just set a buzzer to wake you up, ready to open the door manually. There is a buzzer. Didn't you guys hear the buzzer? DC Allen, there's a buzzer on there, but it's a piezo. It's not super loud. You press the button and it said you hadn't won the lottery. Well, not everyone can win the lottery, Greg. Like, if everyone won the lottery, then no one would get any money. I can promise you this, you clicked the like button and I did not win the lottery. So, double whammy for both of us. So, I wanted to see if that percentage worked again now. Let's try that again, shall we? We're going to keep reflowing again and again and again. Yeah, this is a really good size LCD. I'm kind of okay with the... Yeah, that's working now. You can see 0%. Oh, let me get closer. Well, now you'll see it actually cycling the fan. So you can see the percentage now of what it's doing. I'm never leaving it always at 100%. So that started off a bit slow. I wonder what that was. Interesting. I've never seen it undershoot yet. That's the first. I've done any proper YouTube videos. We're still been on it since about 2009. Well, you made $18 more than me, Electron Ash. I can't even turn my monetization on. And to be honest with you, I don't even know if I want to turn my monetization on even when I hit 1,000 subs. Because I'm not going to make any money at that level, and it's just going to make people have to watch ads. I don't have a monetization plan at all right now. I have a demonetization plan. My demonetization plan is spend all my money on electronics, equipment and parts and make none of it back with my channel. That's my plan. That's my business plan, and I'm sticking to it. I don't care what anyone says. Okay, so you can see there, like right now, it's the oven's off. Like the power to the SSO is off. And you can see how slow it's dropping. But it's fine. It's ample. So I just realized something stupid. Again, we're going to stop this. I'm a moron. Yes, I'm a moron. So let's turn my code back on. So if I do that as an int, it's only ever going to be 0 or 100. I need to do it as a float. Try that again, shall we? Because when I make it a percentage, when I divide it, it's going to either just be 0 or 1. That's called a brain fart, folks. Terrible. Set relay. No, it's not set relay. So I'm just looking for the bit of code where I set it. Come on. Where's my code? Here, current duty. Right, and just adjust current duty. Wow, my code's getting too long. I don't know where anything is. Come on, where's current duty? Current duty, except I can't spell. Wow. Next. Yeah, current duty equals, I need to cast it as a float. Let's try that, shall we? Okay, you paid tax on your extra income. You probably would plan. You'll be surprised how much you can make. Chris, how much I can make doing what? Turning on monetization. At 1,000 subs, which is the minimum, plus I need 4,000 viewed hours of watching, and I'm not even close to 2,000 yet. I'm way away from being monetizable. I wouldn't have thought at 1,000 subs you can make any money. Code UI, by the way, amazing amount of work going into this to get it great to it. Thanks, Stephen. Yeah, I tend to overdo things like my UI and stuff. Okay, let's start this off. We should actually see, here we go. There we go. Now we've got a proper percentage. Except you can't see it because my text is on. There we go. Okay. Now you can see an actual real percentage. The Arduino IDE is very buggy. I really don't enjoy using it, but it's fully integrated, so I just do. You pay tax on your extra income. Yes. But then again, DC Allen, I don't have any other income right now. So I'm definitely in a negative situation. And I just realized, now I know why the graph wasn't going so well. I had the door open. Wow. Okay. It is tissue time. Excuse me. Okay. I was thinking of cancelling the stream this morning because of my nose, but I decided not to. Right, so now you can watch here. So it needs to drop the graph. It's literally sitting at 0. And you can see how slow. So this graph's kind of way off right now because I've left the door open, which is stupid. Having all of the buttons on the same window. If I could get... Apparently someone's got Visual Studio Code programming. Like you can actually make that talk to the microcontroller and program them. But what I haven't found is the ability to switch what controller you're doing or what the settings are on the microcontroller. So quite often I'll have 2 or 3 microcontrollers plugged into my computer at once, and I'm doing programming different things and stuff. So, but I'd much prefer to be using Visual Studio Code for my coding. But the IDE, or at least have a dark skin on. I mean, if I had a dark skin on the Arduino IDE, that would make me 1,000 times happier. So Greg, the percentage is representing the duty cycle going to the SSR. So what I'm doing is I'm using pulse width modulation to turn on the DC side, to turn the SSR on and off, which is turning the elements on and off. Rather than just saying turn on and turn off, I'm ramping between different duty cycles. I actually forgot about that. What? I can do what easily? Yes, you can do what easily. I'm missing something. Okay, I need to look into that, Leo. As I said, I've seen people do it, and I think at one point I accidentally had Visual Studio Code open when I was coding my Neo 7 segment library, and I did something in Arduino IDE, and I could actually see in Visual Studio Code it was doing some serial stuff and showing something on my microcontroller board. So yeah, I'll have to look into that. So I keep shaking the desk. So Greg, does that make sense about what the duty cycle is doing? I mean, I could always connect it to my scope and show you guys. Maybe we'll do that in another video. So you can even see there, like it's still supposed to be climbing, but I've already turned it off. So about 5 seconds before the top of that peak, I've already said turn off because I'm looking ahead. But it takes that long it still keeps rising for that 5-6 seconds before it starts dropping. Right, yeah. So this percentage right now is purely for debug, so you guys can see what's happening. Because I can see some stuff in my serial monitor output on the screen, but I don't want to share that because it's a lot of stuff just scrolling past. So this was there purely for you guys to see what the duty cycle was doing. Fan is on. It blows a bit of air. I got to say, I'm quite impressed with how much that's blowing. It's pretty. Don't fall over. I'm not going to open the door this time, just so you can see what happens. So without the door open, that's pretty bad. By the time it finishes, it's going to sit at about, what's that going to be? 145 degrees. Still. So I wouldn't want to leave the door closed at all, even with a fan. So you can select the boards. Here's your code. Okay, cool. I thought you froze for a moment. I think you just stopped moving. Oh, sorry. I'm in statue mode. So this is working really well. So what do I still need to do? I'm still worried about how it's going to work with different ovens, and that's the reason I went to Aldi yesterday to see if I could buy another oven, if they had any cheap ovens. So I could try to find something that was a different wattage. This is a 1300 watt oven. I wanted to find something that was, somewhere between 1000 or 900 watts and maybe 1500 watts, and try to test this and see if we can do the same thing. Because I'm assuming that, yep, ding, I love this sound. I'm assuming that every oven is going to have a completely different rate of temperature rise and fall. And so this is going to need a lot more testing than just on my oven. So one of the things I want to add, if I get back to the menu, is this calibration mode, which doesn't do anything right now. So my plan with the calibration mode is to have a graph that goes from 0 to 200 and back down again, and it's going to time it, and that's all it's going to do. It's going to it'll go for 300 seconds, but as soon as it either gets back to, like, from whatever its starting temperature is, ambient temperature, back to that ambient temperature, it'll stop, or at least it'll calculate how long it took to get to 200, and then how far it reduced over how much time was left. And then hopefully with that information on my oven, I can extrapolate that out to be a power value that people can set on their oven. So for instance, if you've got an oven that's only 1100 watts instead of 1300 watts, then potentially this system might need to increase the duty cycle by 10 or 20% for the reflow to be able to match the graph. And it should be able to do that by running a calibration, and it'll know that, okay, this took 20% longer to heat up and 20% longer to cool down, so therefore let's give it 20% more power. So I'm trying to make that process as easy as possible. So that's what I'm going to do with the calibration. I haven't coded that yet. Again, I wanted to get the fan into the oven first before I did that, because I think the fan is going to be an important part of it. And maybe I'll run 2 calibrations. I'll run one up and down without the fan and one up and down with the fan. So I've got a comparison on the fan, and then maybe I can use that to determine how quickly the fan needs to turn on. Excuse me. Yeah, the bell sounds great, Andy, but I don't really know how I'm going to hook that in. Piezo's a bit, yeah. I want to take one of those speakers, I think, that I got in one of my previous mailbags. Those flat ones for the mobiles that I showed. I want to, did I say mailbag? One of my unexpected mails. I want to put one of those on and see if I can actually make it play a sound or something instead, or something that's a bit louder, or, make it say, open the oven. Or say your pizza is ready, or something like that. That'd be funny. Maybe. Excuse me. So I still need to do that, and of course I need to put some proper paste samples in. The idea is, I'm just calling this C on paste, but the idea is I'll actually put the proper, whatever the values are on the paste. They've all got particular codes on them that describe how much silver's in them, how much lead's in them, how much blah 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 is in them. Ooh, flickering screen. So my expectation is that it'll probably ship with maybe 5 different pastes. Right now I don't even have the ability to scroll this, so, and it also goes too far off the edge. So I need to fix that. Just added the dark theme to the Arduino ID, but also install. How did you add? Where's the dark theme? How do I do that? Ooh. Electron Ash, where's the dark theme? Oh, I'm excited. Where's the dark? Is it a plugin? I've never seen the dark theme on. It's the only thing I've got on my computer anywhere that doesn't have a dark theme. Drives me nuts. Preferences. Where's dark? Ah, okay. It's a plugin. Okay, cool. I will grab that later then. I might click on the link now. Naughty me. Okay. Thanks for sharing that. That's exciting. Greg, you can only find a Sunbeam for $129. Wow. That theme is great. I think it's just CSS based. Cool. Okay, so that means I can modify it as well. Thanks, David. Thanks, Electron Ash. That's made my day. Yeah, $129 is a bit much for an oven. If at that price, I'd be looking at paying the extra and getting a reflower off Tindy. Pick one. That's going to set you back a bit more. Yeah, I don't know. You also have to remember that, like, in this particular case, this oven is still not my ideal solution. Like, it's still something that can only reflow one board at a time, realistically. Definitely not a good scenario for production of any type, but I don't need it in any type of production right now. I mean, I do 10 Neo 7 segments at a time, unless there's a specific order for more. I try to keep a bunch in stock that I've already pre-made, just because it's easy to make, 8 or 10 at a time with the stencil. And so it doesn't worry me if I have to just reflow 10 one at a time. But yeah, if I ever was producing something of greater quantities than 10 at a time, I wouldn't be using a toaster oven anymore. I'd be going to something else like a reflower. Maybe one of the RF-based reflow ovens, I don't know. I'm still a bit worried about those. Eric from Make Me Lab mentioned that it's not perfectly even in there, so you still got the problem where you might only be able to do 2 at a time. Maybe the bigger units are more even, I don't know. Never heard of the RDE. That's cool. I'm definitely going to try Visual Studio Code, but I'm going to definitely put the dark skin on the Arduino IDE. The only thing I don't like about the Arduino IDE, to be honest with you, is the tab system doesn't work very well, and when you click on a word or some code to highlight it, it doesn't highlight the whole word, and I'll often miss capture stuff, which is really annoying. Okay, so what else am I going to do then? I mean, I think that was really all I was going to cover on the stream today. Thanks, Dave. Thanks for stopping past. Enjoy your meeting. Have an awesome day. By the way, everyone, Dave Astells, I'm pointing at my screen. I don't know why I'm pointing at my screen. He's been producing some amazing guides, learning guides on the Adafruit website, electronics learning guides, all sorts of stuff. You should check out his learning guides. He's really great. And he's got a YouTube channel. He's still starting out. He's nice and new, but check out his channel. I should actually paste the link to it. I'm going to paste the link to it because everyone needs help. Everyone is still alive. Yeah. Surprise, surprise. I'm just going to give you Dave's link. Hopefully that'll work. Check out his channel. I talked him into doing some mailbag videos. Thanks, Stephen. Thanks for stopping past. I'm pointing right at you, Dave. No worries, mate. You take care. Have a good meeting. Have a good sleep, Stephen. By the way, that picture you sent to me off stream earlier that you're doing with the Neo 7 looks awesome. I can't wait to see what you do with that. I love the retro look. Cool. Cool. There you go, Dave. You're going to have a stack of people subbing to you now. Pressure's on. The pressure is on. And everyone, I want everyone here to encourage Deathstalker to make videos. He's got a channel. I don't even know if many of you know he has a channel. There are some videos on there. He hasn't posted videos for a while. I want to find that link too. Hang on. Why is the list in YouTube, not alphabetical. That is so annoying. Okay, I'm doing this. This is naughty of me. Okay, that's Death Shakers. Did I say Deathstalk? I meant Death Shaker. That's Death Shaker's channel. Hasn't posted for a while. He's a bit nervous about posting videos. I would like to encourage him to post more videos. He does some pretty cool stuff with lasers. So I think the key is just don't put your face on video. Just make videos of just stuff. You don't even have to talk. It's fine. Just showcase stuff that you're working on. I know you're working on some cool stuff. You keep mentioning you're working on cool stuff. Yes, this is peer pressure. I'm doing this because I want to give Death Shaker a kick in the bum. Because if you look at his channel, I'm making a big assumption that Death Shaker's a him. But if you look at the channel, there's only a few videos on there, but they freaking look awesome. So, I can see 4 subs. Let's see how many subs we get. I'm going to look at this. Oh, 5 subs. 1 went up. Cool. So yes, this is a bit of peer pressure because I would really encourage more videos of lasers because you can't have enough videos of lasers. And of course, for those of you that already haven't, there's a lot of people like Stephen Ludgate. Check out his channel. Does some cool stuff. Like just, I mean, everyone knows Julian and David. I am mostly hands in videos. Go for it. Yeah, absolutely. Come on, like it's. I don't know. I mean, there's some people that are doing some really amazing stuff, and it's no one gets to see it. So I really encourage people to, you know, if you're too self-conscious to put your face on video, that's totally fine. Like so was I at the start. Like it's been a real challenge for me to, yeah, to feel like I'm not going to look like an idiot when I video myself, and I still do sometimes. So yeah, just I encourage people to make videos and share the electronic stuff they're working on. Ah, you hadn't left yet. Cool. Before Stephen goes, everyone go subscribe to Stephen's channel as well. I'm going to go post that as well. I'm going to find Stephen's channel. We're just going to do a post the links. Why is it not in alphabetical order? That is so stupid. Okay, this is Stephen. Everyone go subscribe. And you know who else? Chris Cochran. Where are you, Chris? I'm just going to do a linkage thing now. This is going to be fun. Okay, that's Chris. Chris has done a couple of videos recently on his new 64x32 panel, matrix panel with a ESP8266. You all know Brian's stream, right? I'm going to post Brian's anyway. He's not even here. But I'm going to post Brian's. If you're not subscribed to Brian Locke, go subscribe to Brian Locke. He does some awesome stuff, again, with ESPs. 32s and 8266, and he's been playing around with the panels as well. I just found your channel. What's the best way to get into learning Arduino from scratch? That's a good question. Hey, Brian, thanks for joining. So, I started really late with Arduinos. I didn't see a use for them, like for my general usage, so I put off learning them. And then when I wanted to finally learn them, what I did was I bought like a SparkFun starter kit, and I went and signed up for a one-day course. So in Australia, there are different electronic companies that do courses. I did a one-day crash course that actually came with the SparkFun kit, and it was like a literal 12 projects, bang, bang, bang. Got a really good understanding of how the Uno, which comes with the kit, works, and it really got me up to speed really quickly. I mean, I was still a bit, information overload by the end of it, but they took me through, blinking an LED to getting some motors and servos working to all sorts of stuff. it was really a great way to do it. So I would recommend, if you can afford it, rather than trying to just get a microcontroller from China or from somewhere and learn on the internet through videos, I would highly recommend seeing if anywhere local around you does any like 1-day crash courses. You can get them for Raspberry Pi as well, but I found it for me really great because it wasn't just Arduino stuff, it was some really basic electronic things as well, and it was a good understanding of how the two marry together. So that's what I would recommend. Brian, if I was you, if anyone else has any suggestions on how to learn Arduino from scratch, please jump in and give suggestions. Right, sure. That's the problem with doing projects yourself and having them copy and paste, is you're just mimicking what other people are doing. You don't have the back and forward response. So what I found with the course that I did was things that I didn't understand, or things like we could ask questions as we were going, or that the instructor was explaining things beyond just the put this in here and do that. I found that useful. I learn by doing, not so much by watching and by doing. I don't like reading so much. And what have I missed now in the and how to set your house on fire with it? I gotta say, I'm not so scared of the 240 volts anymore. I'm being a little bit carefree with that SSR that's sitting there with the bit of live wire sticking out the side. Yeah, doing Arduino stuff is just perseverance. Hang on, Andy. I will make you a mod. Because why not? There you go, Andy. You can post links now. Break your ankle. It's a way to get into the YouTube in electronics. What? What do you mean, David? Is that how you started? You had an injury, and so you were stuck at home. There's lots of great Fusion 360 tutorials online. So are you looking to do like 3D printing stuff? If it's around 3D printing, then Maker's Muse, Angus from Maker's Muse has some really good tutorials on Fusion 360. YouTube's a great place to find stuff. It's just going to take time, and at some point you need to jump in and actually start doing it yourself, like not just copying, but trying something new and failing, and that's the best way to learn. Can't find Arduino executable under D program. Or you can start at Blink and expand it. Yeah. Kind of two different things. You better focus on one at a time. No, Leo, don't. Who wants to focus on one thing at a time? 10 things at a time. That's my problem. I do too many things at once. Oh wow, David, I didn't know that. How'd you break your ankle? Soccer? Oh, sorry, football. I didn't realise that. Yeah, I'm glad that wasn't what took me to get going. Maybe it would have been better because I stopped starting electronics my whole life. Like I always got to a point where, I was baffled, and then I gave it away. It's only recently that I pushed through. I really regret not having done it 15 years ago. Make Anything YouTube channel is good. Yeah, Make Anything. I actually subscribed to Make Anything yesterday because of Angus from Maker's Muse, Greg. So that's actually quite interesting, and posted the question to him. Yeah, there's some really great content on there. I'm actually really struggling now to view all the content that I subscribe to. Oh no! Guess what, folks? I forgot to post Dave Darko's channel. Everyone go subscribe to Dave Darko. There we go. I'm going to keep going through my list. Do I need to post Julian and David? I'm going to post Julian and David Watts anyway. Brian, I don't know if you're subscribed to David. There's David Watts. Gotta go subscribe to that. I'm gonna do Julian as well. He doesn't need the subs. Or everyone needs the subs. But if you don't know Julian, you should. First mailbag I ever watched was Julian's. It was awesome. Ran out that day and bought a whole bunch of parts. Who have I missed? Just looking through my list. Ooh. If you're not subscribed to Liz at Blitz City DIY, you should. She's great. She does some really cool Arduino projects. She works with a lot of the Adafruit projects. Becky as well. Where's Becky? Oh, and Jen. Hang on. I'm just doing a paste for all. I'm going through the list. Okay. That's Jen Foxbot. Jen does some cool tutorials on maths and electronics and stuff. Here's Becky's. I'm just posting away. There's Becky's link. I should be putting names next to them. What am I doing? Doesn't matter. Everyone go and click on all these links and subscribe. Dave Darko is Donnie's brother. Yeah. Chat half a minute before we see you typing them in. I only have 19 subscribers but 3 videos. Do you have a channel, Greg? What? Wait, where's Greg's? What's your channel, Greg? I'm making you a mod. Oops. Is that the right one? There you go. Can you post your link, please? I didn't even know you had a channel. Who else has got a channel that is on here that I don't know about? Who else is in the list that I haven't done? Who have I missed? I've got so many people on my list. It's not funny now. I don't even know. As I said, I don't even have time to watch all these stuff. I really feel bad. I'm actually waking up most mornings now at 5:30 in the morning so I can get an hour of YouTube watching in before the kids. I have to get the kids moving for school. Oh, of course, Sean. For those of you that don't know Sean Hodgkins, oops, Idle Hands Dev, Idle Dev Hands something. Whoops, sorry for ruining that. Oh yeah, Colin, you've got a small channel. Greg, post your link. No, post the actual link. Digi Cool Things. I made you a mod so you can post your channel link. Yes, Colin has a channel. I remember. I've got it somewhere in my list. Colin Hickey, here we go. Oh, you've been doing your charge controller stuff, haven't you? Your DIY BMS stuff. There we go. That's Colin's link. I've got, yeah, so many on here. Just looking through more. For those that don't know, Make Me Lab, Eric from Make Me Lab. Should check out his channel. Thanks, Greg. I'm clicking and subbing right now. Oh no, that was a bad idea. Apparently, clicking in a link in chat was not a good idea. Whoops, I'll click on that link later. Back with coffee. Channel overload. Sorry. I know, I'm sorry. Do you know what? I might have just posted too many links. And I don't want anyone to feel any pressure to subscribe to anyone's channels. Like it's super tough starting a channel. It's super tough running a channel, no matter how big you get. I mean, maybe the bigger you get, the more pressure there is. You know, coming up with the motivation to keep making content. You know, working on a project like this, if I wasn't doing this on video, I would have had it done in a week, done and finished. PCB's done, 3D printed, case done. You know, the planning on projects to actually put on video. Oh, so I'm not having a whinge. This is not a whinge at all. This is like a serious chat. Like, it takes a lot of effort to actually do video versions of projects, and then, you know, and plan them, and make sure that you got, you know, enough content to do. And streaming's great because I can just waffle on and do stuff, right? But actually doing proper videos. Hey, Stephen. Yeah, I could do a right click open a new tab. Though I just, yeah. In Safari, I'm using Chrome because Safari keeps crashing on my Hackintosh. But in Safari, I've got it where whenever I click on a link, it automatically opens a new window, and I forgot that it wasn't set up that way. I'll put the pressure on if you want to see on. Oh, you want to subscribe? Thanks, David. I just, yeah. So it's super hard to build a channel. It's super hard to make content for a channel. It really is, and it's quite rewarding, just the making of stuff. But it's you know, it's also demoralizing. You know, watching your subs not grow or watching the engagement not grow. And I'm super lucky because I had a bunch of really cool creators like David Watts, Brian Locke, very early on, help me out, give me a shout out. Haha, Alan, thank you. And I just want to repay. Like, I just, you know, there's lots of really interesting people making really cool content on there, and everyone deserves to have their content seen. And I wish it wasn't such a competition for everyone's time. Everything's free from Alan, David. Alan's a great guy. So, whoa, I feel like something's echoing. I can hear it echoing in my head. So my board is done. It's identical to this, my PCB, except, as I said, I've got a different diode on there. I don't know what, I'm using a, so this is a 2, the transistor's at, was it a 2PN2222222222A, whatever. But on the board, I'm using a, what are the MMBT2222 surface mount ICs, so transistors. So I don't know what the what resistor I need to put on the gate, but I'll work that out. I've been saying it for like a week now, but I'm gonna get the boards done. I'm pretty sure that they're fully finished now, so I'm gonna send them off as soon as I can. And I'm definitely keen on building one live. I don't know how hard that's going to be or frustrating, but now that I've got a good camera set up here where I can actually work and solder and bring my camera nice and close like this without it being in my way, I think I'm going to have a much more successful build. So my plan is to stencil it, and then to assemble it, and then to reflow it, but reflow it using this, because obviously I'll keep this intact. And that's the reason I actually went out in my last mail video. I actually bought a new Max 31855 chip, because I don't want to pull the one off this board, because I want to keep this intact so I can use it to reflow my reflow board. So, base. What did I say this time? Did I not say base again, Alan? What resistor I need on the base is what I meant, if I didn't say that. So that's the plan. Yeah, these chips, $10 each, but I can buy them for $3 from China on a board. So I need to buy a whole. Well, I'm not going to buy a whole bunch yet, because I don't even know if I'm going to produce more than one of these reflow controllers. If you're interested in one of these reflow controllers, I'm not, like, it's not a commitment or anything, but if you're interested potentially in a reflow controller, let me know. Hit me up in the comments, or hit me up via email or something else, just to let me know, because, you know, I need to. Right now, I'm planning on making 1 or 2, but if I'm going to make more than 1 or 2, if there's going to be a chance I'm going to make more 1 or 2, I need to make some different plans, I think. What am I missing? And tabs, the proper editor that uses proper tabs. Yeah, as I said, the 2 things in the idea I hate was the dark skin, which could be fixed, and the tab support is terrible. What else am I missing in chat? Just waffle like I do, you'll get negative comments, but just delete them. No, you don't waffle, Chris. It's fine. Except for when you're saying that you're waffling. You're waffling about waffling. No, that's totally fine. I enjoy your videos, Chris. I haven't had any negative comments yet. I've had a couple of thumbs down. I giggle at those. I'm not looking forward to my first negative comments, but I think I mentioned before, coming from the games industry where you get the most shocking, terrible reviews. Like you get either people saying, I love this game, it's the best game in the world, 1 star. Or you get people writing, you know, crashes on my 25-year-old Nokia phone. I'm pretty sure that I'll have thick enough skin to whatever people give me, but I haven't got my first negative comment yet. Feel free to someone to give me a negative comment if you want to. See, now I'm just waffling on. So I think it's been almost 2 hours. That could be long enough, unless there's anything anyone wants to chat about. Why do I keep scrolling that up and down? I don't know. I'm pretty happy with the setup, actually. This has worked pretty well. I don't think I've had many or any dropped frames. There was only once that said that there was a data rate issue, but maybe not. I don't know. It's been going pretty well. 1 hour and 37 minutes. I wish I could stream at 60 frames a second, but 30 seems to be okay. And the Hackintosh hasn't rebooted itself, which is pretty cool. So, hopefully for the next stream will either be a build of this board or it'll be a design and build of a different board that I've been wanting to put together. I'm planning on taking my LED displays that I made, the laser cut ones with the bases, where I made the Tiny 85 boards. I'm planning on turning those into a PCB and making something that's more product oriented, because I've had quite a few people wanting me to make them some LED displays, and I've got some other projects where I want to use LED strips that needs a microcontroller, but all it needs is just the 1 pin of a microcontroller or maybe a button input, and I don't want to hook them up into nanos or something. I want to have a really small form factor board, custom board, but that can also take a 2.1mm jack. That's the condition for me, is the jack. Excuse me a moment. Sorry, folks. Yep, as I said, I'm sick. So, almost 1 a.m. bedtime. Wow. 4K for next stream. Yeah, I'm just going to run out and buy myself a $15,000 18-core iMac Pro, Dave. Sure. And then I can do 4K streaming. Never going to happen. Cool, Brian. Thanks for joining. Thanks for stopping past and saying hi. And good luck with your adventures learning Arduino and microcontrollers. It's pretty cool fun. Thanks, David. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for coming past and watching my boring graphs of my reflow. But it's proof it does work. It's quite exciting. I actually didn't think I was going to get it working. Thanks for the fun chat, as always. And I look forward to chatting with you all next week in a live stream. Don't forget, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to everyone's channels that we posted. No pressure at all, but everyone go subscribe, everyone, now. I have a video coming out on Friday, and I can't say what it is, but you all know. But I can't say what it is. And, yep, anyway, that's it. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it. Bye, Chris. Bye, Alan. Bye, Leo. Bye, everyone. I'm not going to name everyone. But, yeah. Until next time, catch you later.